Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have a return guest on the show, Mark Warren. He's a guest, he's an author with Mission Matters. We know each other for years now. We'll get into that as well with one of his previous brands, but I am so excited about today. I got this care package. So Mark is the president and co-founder of Vidai Coffee, located in Miami, but all over the place. And I got this care package, and I was like, okay, another coffee. Let's see what's going on. But I know Mark. I know Mark gets it done. So I was like, let's see what this is. Mark, first off, welcome to the show. Second off, man, that turned into a little bit of an addiction. I was going by the fridge, like, how many of these things am I supposed to drink in one day? They're so good. Welcome back, man.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So congrats on the new brand. Congrats on the product. We're going to go into that, but I do want to take a couple of steps back here for those that maybe haven't caught some of our previous work together. Talk about your history in beverage and maybe just some of the accomplishments you've had in the past in the wine space or otherwise.
Yeah, so it takes us back 11 years now, which seems impossible. It's gone by that fast.
Dang, 11 years. Oh man, go ahead.
Yeah, so Tom and I, my co-founder, we've been working together. God, coming on almost 20 years. This is our third
Mm,
company. Previous to this, we were in tech, but in 2015, we saw a gap, and it was really based out of our own personal wants and needs.
mm,
Big wine aficionados, and a lot of the wine we were finding that was the sub $20 category just wasn't good.
yeah.
Unfortunately, like a lot of things in the United States with food, they allow 76 different additives. The
Mm,
most common is called mega purple. They want this, $12 wine to look like an $80 wine. Well, that
mm,
unfortunately brings in sugar. And that was kind of the start of our journey was could we find a wine that was cleaner, that didn't have a bunch of sugar, a bunch of sulfites, too many tannins,
mm,
that were negatively impacting you. So we look at it as kind of the weekday wine. If it was a Tuesday night, you want to sit down with your partner, have a glass of wine or something and enjoy it. You shouldn't wake up the next day and feel bad for it, yeah, something else. So took us some time, but we launched a brand called Fit Vine Wine. It was pretty much zero sugar, low sulfites, low tannins, no additives like Mega Purple, but still
mm.
full alcohol. It's 14% alcohol. And it tasted great. And we started that very bootlegged. Shouldn't use the word bootleg alcohol, but
Yeah, you should. It's funny. Go ahead.
guerrilla marketing. Started it online, and it was really box in a bag going to gyms. We started inside of like CrossFit,
Okay.
going to yoga studios, mud runs, wherever. We initially thought it was going to be kind of this tier two athlete that was, we call them the weekend warrior, that were doing these like
Mm,
Spartan races and Ironmans and everything else, but they were working professionals. And we
mm.
stumbled into the Yoga Mom. They ended up being our kind of uber customer that they started going into stores. Literally, like I was getting calls from Whole Foods general managers, like
Wow.
getting yelled at, like, why don't you guys have this wine? This fits perfect to you. So in a quick synopsis or summary, what we did is, a couple years later, we were able to get into retail. We started with Whole Foods.
Mm,
It just went vertical. We
mm,
raised capital in 2018. The family office we raised money with wanted to get out, so the company sold at the end of 2022. We
mhm,
exit, we got it into 40,000 locations, pretty much blanketed almost every grocer in the country. We just get into, restaurants and on premise and convenience stores, and the brand still does well today. It was bought by a larger winery out of California, and they're still running
mm.
the brand and still getting after it. So that was our entry into consumer products, which was
Yeah.
an interesting entry with alcohol.
And so now this, I mean, this first off the bottle, Vidai, I think everybody could see it here. When I first saw the brand, everything else, I'm like, man, what are they doing here? Like the coffee space, there's a lot, but I know you like you're not one to like, not the wine. Who would have said, "Oh, yeah, that's what we need is another wine. Let's enter the wine space." But you cracked the code. So I was so interested with the coffee. First I wanted to taste it. So once I tasted it though, and I'm like, I became a little bit of my daily habit. Then I had a couple in one day. And I'm like, wait a minute, I already drank one of these today. Like, go back to the beginning. Where the seed for the idea of coffee's next, or what, however that took place? Where'd that happen? I want the beginning.
Yeah, coffee was, as much, maybe even more of a passion than wine was.
Mm.
It was kind of a
Oh,
selfish.
you mean even back then, like 10, 11 years ago? Like you
I
just
mean,
personally, you like coffee? Yeah.
I've been drinking coffee since I was 9. I mean, that's probably not a good thing to say, but my mom started
Been
the family.
loving wine and coffee since nine. Oh, that rhymes. Come on, there.
That's my mom's side of the family. The Italian, they give you their little homemade wine, which was awful. So I think that was intentional, so we wouldn't drink. But yeah, you get your little shot of espresso. So I've always been a huge coffee fan, and coffee to us was kind of the OG energy drink. And
Mm.
everybody always says, "Oh, why go into that space? It's saturated." Listen,
Mhm.
unless you're the designer and creator of Dyson vacuums, pretty much everything is saturated. There is no category unless you're, inventing something new. And coffee is the second most consumed beverage on the planet. So
Mhm.
it is a huge, huge category. And yes, there are monsters out there that dominate. But what we felt was it wasn't doing enough, so it's Vidi Coffee Plus. And the plus is really where we were looking for an edge. I mean, today, I mean, yourself, your schedule is probably as crazy as mine. That's how most, unfortunately, most Americans operate. It's like run and gun, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're working, you have a family, you get out of work, got to run to
Mm.
kids to soccer practice. And then, coffee became, it's a habitual drink, but because
Yeah.
just coffee by itself, it becomes a roller coaster. You have one in the morning, then by like 10:30, you're like, "Oh, I'm dragging." You have another by 2:30, everybody hits that afternoon lull, and you're like, "Oh my god, I need another." And that's
Mm.
good. Like, you shouldn't coffee's has very good benefits to it. Caffeine has very good benefits of it, but if you're constantly overstimulating your system, it's not good. Like, it's gonna cause your body to react less and less. So, I'm been in fitness my whole life. I was sitting in Tom's house in Newport, Rhode Island, and I show up my little Ziploc bag of vitamins. I won't even tell you how many dozens of pills sit there. And I'm, having a coffee with him, drinking, taking my pills. He's like, "How the heck do you gag all these down?" He's like, "There's got to be
Yeah.
a way." And, you listen to guys like Joe Rogan and these guys that are constantly looking for an edge of,
Mm.
what can we take that's natural that can, spike the brain, that I can focus
Mm.
better, that I have, better cognitive throughout the day. I'm not crashed by 3. I'm not, a lot of people by the time they get home from work, they're not
Mhm.
present with their family because they're so mentally burnt out. So
Mm.
things like adaptogens in the nootropics, which aren't unknown to people now. They've been more well received over the years. One of the most common is something like ashwagandha that people supplement with. We're like, could
Mhm.
we get those into a coffee and not focus on a metabolic spike? Energy drinks do that. We won't go down that rabbit hole of energy drinks, but they're not good for you. Uh, was it something we could do that wasn't metabolic, that was more on like brain power? And
Mm.
as like with Fitvine, it had to start with taste. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't taste good, you're gonna find elsewhere to get your stuff. And there are
Yeah.
brands out there that are mushroom coffees, and they start with the mushrooms, they're ground up, whatever, and some are only 30 or 40% coffee, and they don't taste good. If you're a coffee drinker, you go and drink that, you're like, "Oh, is this dirt?" It really is bad. So
Been there, done that. Go ahead.
yeah. So, we wanted to start with, great coffee. So it's 100% handpicked Arabica beans. We have a blend of a French roast and espresso in there. It's 200
Mm.
grams of caffeine. So it's, full pop, which is like drinking a double espresso or a large
Mhm.
Americano or something. And then we blended in the adaptogens and nootropics like ashwagandha,
Mm.
lion's mane, Thai ginger, reishi, cordyceps. And it's a thoughtful blend that was designed to even out the caffeine. So it's not a
Mm.
big spike up and then, you come crash down. It's just nice gentle lift that hits mentally and you stay locked in for hours. Whether you drink one a day, some have a couple a day, I'll
Mhm.
how crazy my day is, I'll have 2. I can have 1 later in the afternoon so I can get a lift to get to the gym. But
Yeah.
8 o'clock at night, I'm not off the wall. It's not like taking
Mm.
that big spike and then you can't sleep or something else. So that was really a key component. Could we create a responsible formula that tasted great, that people would drink daily? And we talk about it as, life is a sport. You want to win at it. So whether that's winning as an entrepreneur, business leader, mom or dad, like winning at everything. And that starts with being present. So if your brain
Mm.
kind of all over the place, it's hard to stay focused in multiple things in the day. So that was our primary goal.
Yeah, I think it's amazing, and now that I know a little bit more about the formula in the back end, I just started with taste. I'm like, oh, it's good. It tastes good as coffee, and I know I did a couple like things on Instagram for it, and I did some other like videos, and I was like, then I started reading about the ingredients and everything else, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's got all the good stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, but it tastes good, like, huh? And then I'm like, of course, Mark, good job. All right. Like it makes sense. And some of these other products, I'm not going to diss anybody specifically, but I'm always like, how are people buying this? Like, they don't have tongues? Like,
We did the same thing. I mean, we did a
like,
ton of
I
research.
mean, there's a difference. I mean, this isn't like wheatgrass. Like, I don't care who. I mean, that's a difference. That's a shot. It's like, okay, I don't like how it tastes. If you like how that tastes, I don't care. But
Yes. No,
it's disgusting, but
we
it's
take
like you
action.
know you're doing it. You're not carrying around a bottle or like it's not like because coffee's more to me, coffee's more intimate. Like people are gonna drink it sometimes with their paper or whether it's virtual or a physical paper or when they sit down and they're like they're getting focused and locked in is the word you used. Like it's a more intimate thing. Like they're sitting down doing their first email for the day, whatever. They want their coffee. Man, if I'm drinking something that tastes like dirt, I'm opening that first email. Like, oh, great, dirt. It doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't do that other part of what the experience of coffee is supposed to do, which this did. And I was like, oh, he's on to something again, man. Good job.
Well, thank you. I mean, we had the same reaction. We bought probably close to 40 products.
I
And
believe that.
it
Yeah.
wasn't with Tom and I. We brought in, our better halves and some of the college kids and just
Mhm.
taste across the board. And unfortunately, and we said our first reaction, same thing, is like, how did these people get this past their teams? I mean, we're talking big, big brands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Weird aftertaste. Some tasted medicinal, some tasted chalky, like you're scratching your tongue after. I'm like, that's not how it should be. And when you go into just straight black coffee, if it's not good beans, if it's not roasted correctly,
Oh
it's
yeah.
uber bitter. We don't
Mhm.
want that either. And so, the adaptogens and nootropics themselves can be bitter, like ashwagandha, tiger,
Absolutely. Yeah.
super bitter. So there's a little stevia and monk fruit in both, even the black, but there's no added sugar and it just helps like balance out that taste. Like you said, it tastes good. There's no weird like, oh my god, what am I drinking? So that was our primary source. But no added sugar. There's no you can see on the bottle. There's no natural flavors. There's no hidden ingredients that the FDA lets
Mm.
you slide in under natural ingredients. Is
Yeah.
a key component. We wanted it to be clean, and that's why it sits in a glass bottle as well. Unfortunately, people don't realize that your aluminum cans they're lined with plastic. You go get a
Oh.
coffee shop. That's not paper. If you took regular paper and
Mhm.
put 180-degree, 190-degree liquid in it, it's going to
Mm.
disintegrate. So those things are also lined with plastic. The coffee cups out of most coffee shops have over 25,000 microplastics in. Changes the taste. So not only is it bad for your health,
Mm.
taste is you can taste that like weird, like
Mhm.
plasticky whatever. And same with a can, you're gonna get that weird aluminum plasticky taste to it. So
Mm.
ruins the experience. To your point, when you sit down and whether it's work, it's a weekend, you want to read the paper or whatever, or you're sharing with somebody and you go to taste it and you've got a weird aftertaste,
Mm.
changes your whole mood because you're like, what am I drinking?
Yeah.
That was
What
important, the delivery.
Move over to the business side. I want to switch. So we already know it tastes great. Anybody doesn't believe me, go try it. You're fine. Like it's delicious and everything Mark said, I can attest. I drink a lot of it. But let's get to the business side of this. You mentioned in the past with your a previous company, you said the guerrilla marketing side. Like what are you doing for this one? Like what's the plan? How are you going to scale this thing?
Yeah, same approach. So we started direct to consumer this time with the availability of Amazon because when we launched Fitvine, we were just approved for Amazon and bang,
Mm.
they bought Whole Foods and they could no longer sell wine. So we were stuck with just our own Shopify store in back
Yeah.
then, but it's Facebook and Instagram. So today, with the rise of TikTok Shop, the power
Mm.
of Amazon with a quarter of a billion people in Prime. So we launched on Amazon. We have our own website, uh, TikTok Shop. That was our starter. We recently were reached out by one of the largest groups that run convenience stores in the country.
Mm.
Percent of your grab and go beverages, which this would be, whether that's coffee in a bottle, an energy drink, or a bottle of
Yep.
water, 80% of those are sold in convenience stores. So unlike Fitbine, where we started in grocery, our first channel here will be in retail convenience stores. So we're starting in
Ah.
Florida in convenience stores this fall, and then we will rapidly expand like we did with Fitvine throughout the country.
Man, and so this is, and you're located in Florida company, yes?
Yes, Miami based.
Wow. And so like what does it even look like production wise to scale a thing like this? Like let me be a fly in your wall of like figuring out the logistics of what's about to happen next.
Uh,
What's on your list?
a lot of unknowns. I mean, we went through
Yeah.
this with the wine. We had our winemaker out of Lodi, California, and we started, very small production. And then shortly thereafter, we had to buy a brand new bottling line out of Italy that was doing 165 bottles a minute. Once
Mm,
production goes, that is a big challenge. With this, especially being in glass, because most products are in cans.
mm,
That was the first challenge, just even sourcing glass, sourcing the right glass that because the coffee goes through what's called a retour process, basically like pasteurization, so that it's shelf stable. So it doesn't have
mhm.
to be refrigerated when you're not consuming it.
Yeah.
There's a lot on the back end of that, but as we expand, that will be our first big challenge. Do we, build a brand new facility in Florida? Do we expand with another team that we're currently working with system? Those are some unknowns. I mean, that's as we grow. Uh,
Yeah.
the speed of growth kind of directs that. And when we entered retail with Fitvine, Whole Foods started us in 6 states. Before the end of that first year, we were in 42. And
Oh,
3 months after, we had all 50 states. So,
wow.
and we have about 4 times the number of locations we can get coffee into compared to where alcohol.
Oh, because it's not grocery, it's the convenience.
So,
Oh,
but convenience, universities,
yeah,
casinos,
everything there. Grab and go is what you said, right? Like that'd be the
even vending machines. So I think it's close to
wow.
400,000 locations that this could be possibly sold into. So if growth takes off in the same manner it did with Fitbine, that
Right.
becomes a massive, massive component to the business of
Mm.
how to figure that out.
What's it like doing business in Florida? I'm curious. Like I've been headed down there more and more. We're just launching a show called Miami Live. Been doing a bunch of stuff in Las Vegas with Las Vegas Live. What's it like doing business in Florida?
It's been amazing. I was
Mm,
born and raised in the Northeast, outside of Boston. Massachusetts was very difficult, uh,
mm,
as well as even when we'd want to go do events, trying to go into a town or city hall and get permits, not a welcoming thing. See, 11 trips, to get a $50 permit. It was,
ouch.
yeah, it was very challenging. Florida has been open arms. Uh,
Mm,
there's even a council that runs a specific area of downtown. We went and met with them, and they're like,
mhm.
"We'll help you with this. We can help you with that. We give out grants. We'll help you source a building. If you want to hold an event, come see us. We'll get the space
You
for
didn't get that from your previous cities? No.
you." No, it's been drastically different. Uh,
Okay.
we're excited. I mean,
Shout out to Florida. I had to bring that up. That's amazing. Go ahead.
I'm sure the weather helps. People are happy. It's unfortunately, it comes to Boston. There's 6 months of gray and you know,
Facts.
80 degrees and cold and then snow. So, but yeah, it's been very well received in Florida, and we're excited
Mm.
to be based here.
Amazing. Well, Mark, this has been great having you back on the show and learning more about what you're doing at Vidai. I just have to ask, what's next? What's next for you? What's next for the company? What's on the horizon?
Personally, I left the state and came to Florida permanently. So I moved my whole family here. That was a big change. My wife is from upstate New York, and my whole family's been Massachusetts based forever. So it was a big change for us to move the whole family to Miami. My oldest just recently finished grad school at the University of Tennessee, and my youngest is in college in Florida. So that's on the personal side. So very excited to start our next stage here in the South and potentially never look at snow again, except for maybe a week during Christmas. Business wise, the focus really is the expansion of retail. Like
Mhm.
I said, we were reached out to a group that runs over 90,000 of the 154,000 convenience stores in the United States.
Wow.
We vetted the brand, they approved it through their board. So we just did their first trade show, and we're going to start releasing the brand in some of their stores in the Southeast and expanding our partnerships with that. What we did very well with Fitvine was our ground game, partnering up with local fitness centers and gyms, CrossFit gyms, Orange Theory Fitness, yoga studios, Pilates studios, and getting in there and just tasting the people who are looking for better for you products, functional products, and then helping them find where it's located. So that's our big focus over the next 12 months is really supporting the ground game to support the retailers because, now we have direct relationships with those
Yeah.
stores where alcohol, it was kind of a third stage because you had
Yep.
gated distributors in the middle. Now we get to have these direct relations. And with convenience stores, a lot of times I'd be calling you, Adam, and you're like, yeah, I own 10 stores. I own 5 stores. I own 50 stores.
Yeah.
It's much different than walking into a Whole Foods where the wine buyer has been the wine buyer maybe for 3 months. And before that, they were the, cereal buyer. Who knows?
Mm.
It's a more intimate relationship with the store owners, which we're very stoked about because
Yeah.
we get to hear exactly what their pain points are, what they need. At the end of the day, they're trying to make money and be successful with their store. So we get to really dial in to help, drive growth for them.
Fantastic. Mark, how do people follow up? How do they connect? How do they taste this product?
Yeah, easiest way to find us is on our website, which is just vidicoffee.com. And all our social media handles are the same, just at Vidi Coffee. So you can find us Instagram, Meta, Facebook, Twitter, now I guess called X, TikTok, and we are sold on Amazon Prime. So it's always free shipping when you buy it. So whether you buy it from us directly or if you like to go to Amazon, Amazon does all our fulfillment. So we're in all, whatever it is, 59 of their
Mhm.
warehouses around the country. So it's usually drop shipped to your home within 2 or 3 days. So that's the easiest way to find us.
Fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can click on the links, head right on over and grab some product. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. You heard me correct. Each and every day, bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So hit that subscribe or follow button. And Mark, man, been an absolute pleasure. I cannot wait to drink some more of this Vidi, man. It's delicious.
Well, I appreciate you having me. You've always been fantastic and a great supporter to us. So super stoked to be here.